area. Thought she got the ball.
Yes, Spurs fans, welcome back to For the Price of One watch along today. We are about to undergo our second test, our second trial against Luton Town. Of course, we had the 2-2 draw earlier with Wickham. This is going to be a different team, though. We have a very different lineup in front of us, pretty much a whole new 11. Nobody that's carried over from the first 11. We have Vicario in goals, who is actually wearing the captain's armband, Jed Spence, Kevin Danzo, Van de Ven, Destiny Udogi, with Basuma, Gray, and Moore does make the team, which is a good sign because Nick and I were speculating about whether if he didn't feature in today's lineup, maybe that could mean that he could actually be sent out on loan because there's some rumors that he's made a loan request. You have Brendan Johnson, Matisse Tell, and Mohamed Kudus. We get an opportunity to see Kudus again in the forward line there. But the big news is, Nick, good to see you back with me, but the big news is Dominic Solanke, ankle injury.
No, Dom the bomb. Where is Dom? Ankle injury. I know it's asking a lot, but can we, one season in my life, can we start with a fully strength first team squad? I know I'm asking a lot with that, but freaking A.
Yeah. I mean, the guy last season too, ended up, having some injury troubles in the beginning of the season. But the other thing too is that kind of part of the reason we bought him was he was somebody that had pretty much no injury history at Spurs. And since he's arrived at Spurs, he's had a few. Of course, none of them have been for that long of periods. It's not like he's had Richarlison level injuries or anything like that, or Gio Lo Celso. But it is just, maybe a welcome to Thomas Frank and what he has to deal with it at Spurs, that even the indestructible players still find themselves injured constantly at this club.
Hey, maybe that's why we're starting to stack up players right now, because he's trying to he's trying to hedge his bets right now.
Yeah, Alistair Gold and people are always saying, "Oh, the squad depth is way too big." Then you start letting go some players. It's like, well, do we? We seem to have far too many injured all the time. It's not a bad theory.
That being said, though, we have two strikers on the bench right now. That I think would probably have been interesting to see either one of them start. And the question remains, who is starting as striker? Is it going to be Tell, Johnson? Is Kudus going to play off the right? Is he going to play through the middle? It's very interesting.
A lot of people want to see Johnson given that opportunity at striker. Are you one of those, or do you feel like his life is more as a winger?
You know what? In as much as I like to experiment and I'd just like to see what happens, yeah, sure, I'd like to see how it goes. I'm not convinced that he's got the hold-up play that we need. The strength. I mean, he can finish, certainly. I don't know if it's the right move. I'd like to see him as a second striker, certainly. I'd like to see him coming off the bench in the regular season and trying to deliver. But I don't know if he's got the what it takes to be an upfront man on a regular basis.
Yeah. In terms of those backup strikers, let's get to that bench. Thank you for alluding me to that. Once again, I forgot completely about the existence of the bench there, and there are plenty of names. We have Kinski, who's actually not, the goalkeeper for this one. We had Brandon Austin feature in the last one. Kinski started, of course, the first game against Reading, but we have Luca Gunter, other backup goalkeeper or academy goalkeeper, very talented. With Dane Scarlett, your man Dane Bape, we'll get to him in just a second. Jamie Donnelly makes the bench. Young Min Hyuk makes the bench as well, and Will Lancashire. Then you have Alfie Devine, Rio Kiermartin, Byfield, who I know is a very talented, I believe, center back coming through the academy, with Roswell, Russell, Denny, and then Olu Sessi makes the bench again. So Olu Sessi, I don't know how he made it over to Luton Town, because he was actually one of the youngsters that had featured.
He got in that Uber with Frank.
Yeah, I think they caught the bus. He actually had to buy an Uber. I think Callum Olasesi. Hopefully he gets comped by the business card of Daniel Levy at Tottenham Hotspur. But I know you're a big fan of Dane Scarlett, and you'd probably be nice to see him get some minutes today. But the kid just, even when he does take his opportunities, he doesn't seem to ever really be rewarded for it at Spurs.
No, and he had some nice cameos last season. The thing with Scarlett, though, especially this season, is if we're keeping him specifically to fill the home train quota, does he need to be seen that much right now? If we already know he's going to be there, especially if we're using these before the Asian tour starts, just to weed out the squad and figure out who we need to let go right now and who we really want to keep. Frank really wants to keep. Then the Scarlet really need the minutes right now.
That's fair. Yeah, he's someone though that I'm pretty sure would qualify as club trained, homegrown through the academy. At least I'm pretty sure he would.
Oh yeah, yeah, he is.
So you wonder if he actually has a chance of staying around for that reason, just because they are struggling this season to actually fill that quota. It's a very important one for the Champions League. If you want to be able to register more players to the squad, then you need to have as many club trained, homegrown players as possible coming through. So I do wonder if there's maybe a chance that he does end up sticking around actually for that reason. But I would say that I felt for him last season, and I think you did as well. I felt like when he did feature, which was not much at all, but when he did, he usually contributed something. In fact, a couple of times contributed some goals, and he just wasn't really rewarded for it by Ange Postecoglou. But you could say that about maybe a lot of the young players with Ange, is that plenty of them maybe didn't take their chance, other ones did, but it wasn't like they were consistently featured. Not saying that's going to be any different under Thomas Frank, and I think especially when you have a brand new manager coming through the club, they are going to look to try to establish who their first team players are, in the get-go, before they even consider, oh, these are the young players that I want to try to embed in and keep around. There's a lot that's probably going through Thomas Frank's head at the minute, and I would imagine that sometimes the youngsters aren't necessarily at the top of the priority or at the top of the food chain when it comes to it. I mean, he's having to experiment already, Nick, with a brand new front three.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely.
With Dominic Slanky being in.
Yeah, it's a blow, but he's going to have to do this at some point in time in the regular season. We know it's going to happen. So he's going to have to know which direction he wants to go when the chips are down.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody that has already joined us. Please smash the like button as you hop on in here. But we have Tekken, who is in here very nice and early. Thank you for being patient, my friend. Saying, afternoon, Jack, here to eat some humble pie. I said he hadn't had a chance last season after the Newcastle away game in last September. I really got it wrong. Love the new intro video. Was at the Brighton game. Well, you can thank the new intro video to our man Nick here. Like I said, our Nicholas Spielberg behind the scenes here. And he's saying, last game of the season saw us lift the cup. Delighted we got Frank here, too. Here's to a better season. Come on, you Spurs. Listen, man, we all eat humble pie at some stage. There are plenty of takes, opinions that I certainly have gotten wrong. With how much I have to talk about Tottenham Hotspur, I'm definitely going to get plenty of things wrong. And that's just kind of the nature of being a fan of Spurs, which are a basket case of a club to try to figure out. So I think it's almost impossible to bat 1,000 when it comes to any takes around Spurs. But just in sports in general, that's what makes it kind of fun, is, this is how I see it. This is how you see it. We might see it differently, but that's kind of what makes it, in my opinion, enjoyable compared to even talking about various other things in this world. What's kind of nice about sports is I think there is kind of no consequence really to, what your opinion might be versus someone else's. So that's why I enjoy it. So Tekken, good to have you here with us. We Are Spurs TV is back. Good to see you in the house, sir. Limpy Down Under. Feels like deja vu. Well, we're back here. Once again, trial 2. Here it goes. Looper Cal, good to see you. Let's hope this goes better. I mean, just quickly on that, Nick, is there a bit of a down mood after the Wickham game?
I think it was a little underwhelming for a lot of people. Hell, Jack, I had to take that Adebayor kit out of the back of my shot ready because I think it's got a little bit of bad juju, and I replaced it with I basically just switched up Africans. I put the Pape Sarr back there. He scored both goals. I'm figuring that's the positive juju that's going to go into this one. You know what? I think just because of the atmosphere, a lot of people in general on the pitch and at home just weren't taking it that seriously. But I think the majority of us were a bit underwhelmed, particularly by the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Pop Matasar is my type of juju. I'll tell you that. He's my sort of kind of player, and I think he played very, very well in that opening game. But he's a good one to have, maybe for good luck this time. At least he was one of the better players in that first game. Rudy Toot saying Richie wants to stay and fight for his place, same as the previous 2 seasons. Yeah, well, he was the source of my summary from the last game. I think Richarlison, if you did want to read deeply at all into the last game, I think Richarlison was probably the focus of it. And that was actually brought up, I think, by Nick, kind of about halfway or maybe a little bit past halfway in that match, where it was like, this is a guy that technically is supposed to be challenging Solanke, and it's kind of a make or break season for him if he hasn't already kind of been, living off of a make or break season from previous ones that he didn't necessarily take. And he kind of was underwhelming against, at the end of the day, Wickham. He was pretty underwhelming. He looks like he still needs some more preseason minutes in order to get back to his best. And he finished the season strongly, I felt like, last year, but he did not look too great, I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I mean, he helped out, particularly in the last games of the Europa League, without a doubt. But you would really think that he would have tried to make that game his, and really put a stamp on it, and it just wasn't the case. So we got to move on. You would even think, frick it, put him out there for this match. Give him 20 minutes at this match. But we know that he's got Weetabix ankles, so you just don't want to risk it.
No, those. Luckily, no injuries for him, but unfortunately, Solanke's looking like he's got the Weetabix ankles. At least at the minute, he does have an ankle injury and isn't available today. Good to see David Clark. Hopefully, you're doing okay. He's saying, "What is this joke of a midfield?" Basuma, Gray, Mikey Moore. That's probably the weakness, maybe in this team to an extent, right? Mikey Moore being given an opportunity through the midfield should be a lot of fun, but it is technically a weaker midfield than the last teams.
What's the let me just look at the lineup again. Is that where we're convinced that the midfield is? Basuma, Gray, Moore, Johnson, Tell, Kudos. I mean, the question mark is, though, who is really playing on the left? Because we've got potentially, if you are chopping and changing, a couple of different people that could play in the 10. Kudos says he likes to play in the 10. And we've seen a little bit of it. Hell, we played Odebear in the 10 last year a little bit. It's not in this lineup, of course, but is Johnson going to be the striker? Is Tell going to be the striker? There's a little bit. It's going to be a surprise, and some people are going to be upset with how this game starts, without a doubt.
That's actually a fair point, actually. Do consider that, everybody. Muhammad Kudus, maybe he's going to play through the middle as a number 10. Mikey Moore on the left, Johnson on the right, and then the likelihood of Matisse Tell through the middle. That's actually a fair point. I didn't think about it that way, Nick, because that's what was part of the benefit, I guess, of bringing someone through like Muhammad Kudus was technically, that he can compete with James Madison, Kulusevski. He's had experience playing through the number 10 attacking midfield role, especially during his time at Ajax. That actually was his default position there. AK Sheg saying 6 a.m. Jack, I don't know how you do it. Well, I'll one up you there. We went even earlier this morning. I don't know how I did it earlier, but thought it was a pretty enjoyable vibe and a pretty enjoyable watch along. The game, probably not maybe living up to the commentary standards, I would say. I think we probably outperformed the players there for the most part. But I did say in my summary, there were some guys who played well. I felt like Sarr had played well, Bergvall had played well. I look at Odebear, who played decent as well. I even pointed out that actually Romero, to an extent, too, actually, I think had a pretty solid game at the end of the day. But then there were some others who maybe didn't have the best days at the office. Brandon Austin, Sonny, Richarlison, just to name a few. Good to see you, Shawnee Johnston. Ribsy sings. So, we're back here, Ribsy. Get ready for another one here, sir. Trial number 2. Andrew Spurs, big up Jack's Flat Cap Army. 3-1 Spurs. Let's hope for a nice win today and also stay undefeated right now under the Frank regime. Andrew Spurs. Hollywood Hotspur saying, I think Kudos will be in midfield. Well, let us know, everybody. Where do you think the team will line up? We're only a few minutes out anyway, so we'll find out in just a minute's time, where these guys could end up playing. Any sort of worries or kind of expectations going to this one? You would imagine Luton Town would be of a slightly higher standard than maybe.
Yeah, and they're going to take this game certainly more seriously. They're at home. They're prepping for their upcoming season. They want to put out a good vibe.
Yeah. I do feel like, I wonder if Josh Keeley, I didn't actually see whether
he's going to have something to prove. He's starting. So
Yeah.
he's definitely going to have something to prove.
Should be fun to see him, kind of come up against this team. Just trying to see where I can find it on Paramount Plus. Is it on Paramount Plus for this? Are you able to?
Oh, man. I just assumed that it was.
I thought it would be, but maybe I'm going to have to go back to Spurs Play. Of course, we have the options. We have the options here. Let me just
you want to watch Stoke instead? Fuck
it. Stoke and Wolves, is that what we have in line for here, everybody? But yeah, actually something to bring up, Josh Keeley, right? Of course, trying to not available on Paramount Plus, it says.
Gotcha. All right.
Ooh, Peacock, it says.
Really?
Let's just see. We're a minute away. Just quickly, are you happy with Josh Keeley going? I kind of said that I wonder if the whole Kinski thing might have been
moved him out. Listen, these guys, especially when they're on the up like this, they want to play, man. Same thing with Mikey Moore. They want to play football. They want to be starting.
Yeah.
And there's every chance. We've seen it so many times. Players get marginalized by people in front of them, people with more experience, people with bigger contracts. Not necessarily that they're better, but I'm not happy about it. But I understand it completely. You know, am I not correct in thinking that he would have counted as homegrown?
Yeah. That was my thought.
Yeah, yeah. I heard somewhere else that that wasn't necessarily the case, but I thought he would have counted as an academy player. But hey, he's going to get the loan option wasn't there for him, and we've got the buyback clause and the sell-on clause. It's the best possible situation, I think, for all parties.
I personally just felt like, yeah, give an opportunity for some of these young players that we're bringing through. But then again, maybe if I'm remembering correctly, the likes of maybe it isn't on Peacock. At least I'm trying to find. I might just have to go back to Spurs play here.
Bear with us. For a moment,
we have options here. We have a plethora of options. Maybe Thomas Frank doesn't when it comes to the lineup, but maybe it's just the case that, because I do prefer not to use Spurs play, to be honest. Sometimes I find it to be a little bit buggy. I don't know how the experience is with you guys, but TV channels are showing the game. Says hello, Asder. Well, we'll get this up on screen here. It's going to be a little bit of a buzzer beater here. Hopefully I find it just in time. Paramount has Wolves versus Stoke. Yeah, I guess debatably, which one is more interesting? I'd argue Tottenham versus Luton Town.
There we go. You made it in time, Jack.
I made it in time. Maybe they were very much on time when it came to the previous game, right? They started almost, I think, a minute early, whereas this one, it looks like they could be getting started off about a minute late. There's Kenilworth Road in all of its finest, nice and full for the match. We have the lineups, of course, in front of us. They are showing kudos, at least in the Spurs play lineup. They are showing kudos through the midfield, so you were absolutely spot on. Mikey Moore, I thought, Nick, didn't look too great against Reading.
Yeah.
I think he's got to probably perform a little bit better here in order to give Thomas Frank something to think about.
Yeah, and you would hope so. I mean, the first game in preseason, I'm not holding anybody to an immensely high standard. But, you really would want to see a lot more from Mikey Moore right now. Danzo and Van de Ven paired together. I like the sound of that, man.
Yeah, I liked seeing Danzo and Romero together in that first game. I thought they actually were a fine pairing in the last game. And Danzo and Van de Ven, I think, will be something to think about for the future, just because, there will be games where Romero will be injured or suspended. At least that's just kind of how it's been, in general. So it is something certainly to think about. Danzo is, at least in my opinion, by far the best backup option that we have available. So we'll see how he pairs with our Mickey. And we've gotten kicked off here, everybody, so feel free to sync up with us. I feel like I'm seeing, instead of Destiny Udogi, though,
yeah,
I'm seeing like a Jamie
Donnelly as right back. Somebody
left back
put that
again.
In the chat.
What happened to Destiny Udogi?
Back, yeah.
Can people let me know on that one?
Yeah, that's a shocker right there. Ali Gold put out something before the game kicked off about injuries. He didn't say anything about a doggy.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they just try to make a last-minute switch, have Donnelly start for some reason because he already knows what he's getting off of a doggy.
Well, it's so far been a very Ange Postecoglou preseason in that there's already injuries, and then there's also Jamie Donnelly playing at left back, so it's very similar to previous preseasons. Good opportunity for Basuma, though, to progress us forward. Can he play the pass? Yes, he does. Out wide to
Mikey.
Johnson.
Johnson's on the left. Johnson's on the left, and he gets the ball taken off of him. Yeah. Spurs play chopping it up as usual.
I think all of a sudden, the Spurs play servers have gotten a little heavy compared to maybe the Wickham game. It probably wasn't as busy. Johnson on the left, yeah. At least by the looks of things.
Yeah, is that just because he drifted over? Or is
yeah, hard to tell. On the left? Could it just be a whole different formation? Maybe it could be like a 4-2-4.
Yeah, could be. So I saw somebody say
you don't know with Thomas Frank.
It might be a 4-2-4.
Good turn here from Basuma, but
Oh, he gets taken down. Yeah, no, that's you, mate. That's you. I don't know about you, Jack, but I have never liked Johnson off the left. And I'm not a Johnson hater per se, but I just have never seen him excel on the left-hand side.
yeah, it's only the only game I can think of where he might have played really well there. Not too many games that he does play there, but might have been like Aston Villa, I think, or Newcastle, one of the previous seasons under Ange. I think he had a very good game there, but that's all I can think of or remember. Johnson, though, taking it past his man here, taking some inspiration from Thompson, and back post towards Matisse Tell.
Was that a cross from Johnson
It
in
was.
the air?
He cut inside, put in a
All
cross.
right.
I wiped my eyes just to make sure. Mohamed Kudus clips it in. No one there. That was not a bad cross either. Yes, Jamie Donnelly is definitely playing left back. You do have it right here, people. And Mikey Moore, at least right now, not necessarily playing directly in the midfield. He seems to almost be playing off of the striker because he's not really looking to drop deep. And it seems to just be Gray and Basuma so far kind of holding it down in the midfield. Out wide to Johnson, who plays it down the line to Donnelly. A lot of creative players in the team when you think about it. Jamie Donnelly, Mikey Moore, Mohamed Kudus, Mickey Van de Ven. Lovely recovery there. Jed Spence here. Opportunity for Jed again on the right, who actually I thought had a very good game against Reading, except he had that one moment where he needed to square it to Mohamed Kudus for us to score, and he kind of selfishly wanted to take it for himself. So far, very bright start from Johnson on the left. Left-footed cross.
Another. He's got his crossing boots on with the left. That's... He's
whipping in the crosses. He's showing that he at least knows to think about crossing so far, Johnson. But the earlier one was actually a good cross, to be fair to him. So far, I'm not seeing any signs.
Any sign of what's up with you, Dogie? And just sorry for the
More,
dead air.
I'm actually trying to get off of Spurs play, but I'm not seeing.
Yeah, sorry for the delay or the dead air there, ladies and gentlemen. I think Jack and I are both trying to deal with our streams. Hey, Jack, just so you know, I got my own Spurs play up.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm not seeing any signs of it being casted anywhere else at the minute.
Yeah.
My least favorite time of year is the Spurs play time of year.
Yeah. Luton definitely trying to drive at us, make us worried, pin us back. We're desperately trying to get out of our third, and we still can't do it. Bad plays, but
lovely from Kudus here.
Yeah,
big switch
Kudus
of play over to
it.
Johnson. Can it get there?
Oh, Jesus. All right, it is on Fox Deportes. Good look out, John.
Oh,
I did see that the other day.
Wonder if I have that. Lovely bit of play from Kudus, though, there. He took the ball off of Matisse Tell. Matisse Tell did all right, to bring it down, but then he made a huge switch of play. Tyler, okay, I'm glad it's not just me. He's saying it freezes every single time it goes out wide to Johnson.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm glad it's not me.
Tell on the corner
Johnson
here.
has broken the servers. Matisse Tell whips in the cross. Ooh, looked dangerous.
Nice. Not a bad delivery at all. Not a bad delivery.
Johnson has already been working on his crossing and training with Thomas Frank, says Tuck, and apparently so.
Well, hopefully Frank has isolated the areas in which each player from last season needs to improve, and clearly that was one we all saw.
And we're testing Keeley here, putting in some crosses right on top of him. Someone also bringing up that Johnson, his debut game was on the left under Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, against Arsenal, right? Which I thought sucked.
Ball over the top to Kudus. Oh my gosh, what a touch from Kudus.
Whoa.
Brings it down, no problem.
But he bobbles it a little bit off the shin, but he's still got it.
Already getting a glimpse of the techers from our man Kudus.
Luton taking this match very seriously, it seems.
They're in front of the home crowd, and I imagine, they're probably a little further along in their preseason than us, right? I think teams in the lower leagues.
And they start real soon, right? They start next weekend, I think.
So they got to kind of be in tip-top shape. And also Luton Town, have had dramatic fall-off since being back since they were in the Premier League. Matisse Tell
at it again, tries to beat his man, bobbles it, gets it taken off of him. Trying to recover, doesn't do it. They get past him.
Was it Rob Edwards, their manager, right?
When they were in the Prem?
Yeah.
Did they sack him?
They sacked him, and I think it's just been it went really downhill for him, I think, when he decided to stick around, and he almost got punished for his loyalty, I think, at Luton Town, where he ended up sticking around, and then that season they did terribly. Forget if they even got... I don't think they got relegated. Did they get relegated?
Yeah. I think
they got relegated, right?
Yeah,
from the championship as well.
Yeah.
So they pulled a Sunderland,
yes,
where they went from the Premier League to the Championship all the way to League One,
which is disastrous for a team that isn't that established.
And you have the parachute payments and everything, so it's just
Yeah, Artist T backing you up on that. Yeah, he walked.
And they hired Wickham's manager, says hello, Astor.
So Spurs, I mean, we're looking lively, but it's if I gave it the edge right now, I'd put it on Wickham. It's just as far as their intensity, especially with the press right now. So we got to just be on point, not slacking, not giving them, giving them the respect.
Good touch from Vicario.
Back to Vic. Vic, make a decision.
Yes, because Vic, though, likes to take his time. Oh, Kudus does so well to keep it in.
Wow.
He's got the pace.
Shakes his man off and gets it.
Or Matisse Tell, that was... Oh, saved off the line.
Oh, damn. Looks like I'm about a second or two behind you, but
Here,
I'll just deal with it. Yeah.
I think it was actually Matisse Tell there.
He was on the right?
Yeah, he was the one who let that kind of go over the top of his head, and then he squared it to Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus nearly had his first goal in a Spurs shirt, saved off the line. Johnson, not on the same wavelength there as Jamie Donnelly. Good play from Matisse Tell.
Is Donnelly left-footed?
Yeah.
He is, right? Yeah.
The wand of a left foot. Yes, everyone, the breaking news is that Dominic Solanke is not available with an injury. The question
is, what is up with Desto?
Yeah, that's actually because we only have one left back on the books anyways.
Mm-hmm. Well, no. I know you don't want to think about it, but good old Ben Davies is still there, right?
How could I forget?
And I know he gets a lot of stick. I don't think he had the worst match earlier this morning. I thought he was okay.
Might agree to disagree. I thought the left side was pretty dead. Sonny and Davis, I felt like really left a lot to be desired. I'm not even sure if Ben Davies crossed the halfway line.
Yeah, Lippy Down Under reminding us VDV can't play left back pretty fucking well effectively, too. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like to think it. But
lovely play from Kudus. I'm liking Kudus and Matisse Tell so far. They're looking... Yeah. Kudus did so well to bring the ball down, and then he clipped it over the top of the Luton Town defender, and then nearly was able to play Matisse Tell behind. But Luton Town coming down our right side, down Jed Spence's side, and Jed Spence does really well defensively. Mm-hmm. Very solid. Good to see Scotty Hynam. Hopefully things are doing well.
Yeah, I'm hoping Spence really kicks it up a notch this season. Yeah, I think you mentioned this before, that he's one of those players that's better starting than coming off the bench. And I think he needs the minutes and to know where his place in the team is.
Jamie Donnelly hitting it out of not hard to hit it out of Kenilworth Road. It's very low ceiling there, so he probably nearly knocked that out of the stadium. I think with Jed Spence, I just wonder, when he hasn't been starting games, though, he's kind of it might be a bit harsh to say, but he kind of had that attitude thing, when he wasn't playing games. Of course, that was under Conte. To a degree, that was a bit under Ange.
Mm-hmm.
So I do wonder, if that ends up happening with Thomas Frank as well, whether he can be the guy to sort of, control his emotions, because I do think he is a great player. Does well there. Going to have to play out from the back here. That ball ain't going out of play.
He loves to do it, though. He's going to have to do something, though.
He gets the free kick.
And he gets the free kick. So, he is very talented at that kind of hold-up play.
Fat Tony, I don't hate keeping Donnelly at left back. Didn't Frank convert a winger to a fullback already? I think he had Lewis Potter play as kind of a wing back in a lot of games. And also,
that was sketchy
pass from Basuma.
Sketchy.
And
he takes
Muhammad
him down.
Kudus gives away a free kick right at the top of the penalty area, inside the D. This is prime real estate for a free kick here.
Yeah, this is where Vic better shine.
Well, opportunity to practice our wall formation and practice our communication from Vicario here. It was a really poor giveaway from Basuma. It was potentially the right idea, but he underhit the pass. And he sort of let it. Just didn't hit it really hard enough. And I think then the Luton Town player was able to get in front of Kudus pretty easily. Hard to say with Kudus, too. I mean, he probably did need to put in a challenge, but he did kind of just run through the Luton Town player there. So let's see how this wall shapes up here. Got the big Danzo and Van de Ven in there. Danzo slapping himself in the face to get it ready to take one potentially off of the face.
You kind of missed the sound of Dave having a Basuma tirade there. You donut!
Does take it off the face, Danzo, and gets another block. Absolutely putting his body on the line.
Big Kev.
Jed Spence being taken on one-on-one. Does well again. He's had a few tests here one-on-one, Jed Spence. He's done well on every single occasion. Danzo is a one-man wall. I just give me 4 Danzos. That's all I need. A team of Danzos and Vuskoviches. I wonder how that would do in the Premier League. I wouldn't say too shabby. Route 1 stuff. Corner for Luton Town. Whips it in. Deal with it. Dealt with by Archie Gray. Mikey Moore does not win the header. Well done from Basuma, but he's got to be better there, Basuma. Bad giveaway again there. He didn't need to just kick it away like that. Well, Spurs put under a bit of pressure there just from a little bit of a, as Dave would say, balloon head or donut head of Basuma. Playing out from the back here. Vicario clips it to Basuma very neatly. Got time on the ball here, Basuma. Come on, Bis. This is Mikey Moore. Mick Meister.
Biz with the give. Back to Biz.
Spurs just cycling possession here. Luton Town, like Nick was saying, definitely moving about much quicker than Wickham were earlier.
We need to hold on possession right now and wear Luton out a bit.
Johnson's got a bit of space here. Takes on his man, does well. Earns a free kick. Fair play, Johnson. Getting dragged back there. A bit of tussling between him and the Luton Town fullback.
Wow.
Johnson's, I mean, he's done well to actually progress it forward because what he was so known for on the right was always just kind of passing it backwards or passing it sideways, not taking on that
getting it to the midway
responsibility.
line or a little bit past, stopping, not knowing what to do, and then passing backwards.
Yeah.
You know. So listen, if Thomas Frank has isolated that and said, you know what, we're going to put you on the left a little bit, see if that stops happening, then he's a freaking genius. You know, we'll see what comes of it.
Or if even just anyone in the coaching staff has just gotten through to Johnson being like, listen, man, this is what we need you to do, like whether you want to or not. And I think you put that well, actually, that it often seemed like Johnson didn't know what to do in those situations. Maybe he can, but it did seem like when he received the ball, it's like he hadn't decided what he wanted to do, actually.
There was no plan if there was another person in front of him, you know?
Yeah. They can't stop Johnson so far. So far, he's actually been bright, I'd say.
Back to Vic. Vic out to Mick. Mick with the long ball, but a little bit ambitious there. Long ball out to Mikey. Mikey has not been as involved as one would have thought.
Lots of people are complaining about Spurs play. It's not been too terrible, but you would say by the standards that normally we would go by, yes, it's not been necessarily great, but I don't expect a lot going to Spurs play. I was trying to avoid it at all costs. I'll see maybe a bit later. I'll see later if I can find some Fox Deportes.
Yeah, it's always at the key moment, man. It's always when something's on the break. Then it glitches.
It's kind of funny that Josh Keeley, too, has kind of stuck with, I feel like Leyton Orient and Luton Town, I kind of think of slightly similarly in just that they're both kind of, in the northern region of the London landscape. I know Luton is a bit further outside London, but it is kind of funny. I feel like they're kind of similar looking clubs to an extent. Also kind of similar color scheme. And yeah, just everything about them is similar. I had to keep reminding myself that he wasn't at Leyton Orient. Oh, nearly a breakaway for Muhammad Kudus. Luton Town switch it back in, and it's a nice souvenir for the fans. Not really a whole lot thus far. Potentially the best chance of the game was when Matisse Tell actually got us up the pitch with some nice skill and then was able to play in Muhammad Kudus, and it was saved off the line. Van de Ven going for a trademark run, taken down. They know what happens when he goes on those type of runs.
Yeah, so far in this first 20, it's got to be Kudus and Tal, been the bright sparks.
All over the top for Johnson. Can he get there? Yes, he does. Oh, offsides. Levy's paying Man United tea ladies to film the game. That's why the bit rate is so slow. It also, like, whenever they try to do like a replay or try to do a different camera angle, they usually kind of cock it up in some extent. It's like the interns are on the job today. Levy's, maybe this is where he saved a bit of money. It's definitely gone out of play throwing for Spurs. Luton Town player couldn't keep it in.
Donnelly with the throw. Long throw. Out to Tell. Now it goes out.
I don't mind that from Johnson, actually, just ballooning it. Again, though, like, to be honest, you would say that the Wickham game maybe had a brighter start from Spurs. This one, It's kind of just been a bit of a stalemate between both teams so far.
Mhm.
Not really, I would say, any team has looked that much better than the other. Whereas, like I said in the summary of the Wickham game it was kind of like Spurs did look like, after they looked really good in the first opening minutes, got their goal, they looked like they were going to push on to score more. And then once once Wickham got that goal against the run of play, which really was against the run of play, all of a sudden kind of the momentum switched and changed. Whereas this game, like I said, more of kind of an evenly matched.
Yeah. Luton winning the free kick.
Danzo gives away a free kick. It was a ball in behind the right side. Not really a whole lot of... Yeah, I would say the player goes down kind of easily there.
Yeah, without a doubt, the last minute changes, Solanke, Bentancur even, and then, whatever's going on with Udogie, that couldn't have been good for cohesion going forward. They definitely had to make some last minute swaps that were not planned.
They've had a few set pieces here, Luton Town, so we have to see how we can defend these. Whipping it in, dealt with well by,
Good job.
I think it was Matisse Tell, cleared it away at the near post. That's going to be a big thing to look out for, I think, under Thomas Frank, is if we end up being a much more solid team defensively from set pieces.
Set pieces? We can't
course,
get a
it's
whole
only
hell of a lot
preseason,
worse.
but-
Yeah. I mean, no, Vic.
That was a nice ball in behind for the Luton Town striker, but couldn't find the finish.
Yeah, if we got to stop conceding those far post goals, man. Over and over again.
Apparently, he was offside. Yeah, he was well off. Never mind, off.
Yeah.
All right, Spurs haven't really had much possession in the last few minutes, though, so here's an opportunity to see us trying to build out. Luton Town are pressing high, by the way. Probably something we should have mentioned earlier, actually. They have been really pressing us. Good play from Matisse Tell. First time passing to Mikey Moore. Jamie Donnelly plays it down the line to Johnson. Get there, son. Oh, my gosh.
Ooh, I'm not sure what you were trying there, Johnson. He's not on your team.
Johnson had a run from Mikey Moore there. Please don't tell me he gave away a free kick. Oh, that's just... Oh, it's maybe only a throw-in? Luckily. And that was poor from Johnson. Nearly gave away a free kick. Yeah, he did give away a free kick. Gave away a free kick in an area. Didn't... Oh, now it is a throw-in. It seems like no one has any idea what's going on. But Johnson, poor giveaway there. Down the line, had a pass easily to Mikey Moore. Wasn't able to find it, but then looked like he did almost give away a free kick. There's your man, Kota Takai.
Yeah, man.
He didn't make the bench, though.
He's got a knock, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting. Sir! Absolutely ran through Vicario there with the clearance. Bit of a late challenge. Vic doesn't seem to be too bothered by it. Almost probably enjoyed it.
A lot of people saying that the Liverpool-Milan game was something to watch.
I did see the highlights of the Milan-Arsenal game. Looked pretty dull for the most part, but Milan actually held their own. They did lose at the end, but it was kind of just from one lapse of concentration from, I think, a young left back in their team against Saka. Danzo on the ball here. Ball over the top. Down the line. Can he find it? Kudus, can he get there? It's a little too heavy for him.
Luton's throw. We need to stop giving them so much possession.
Is this 480p from TY? Yeah, I mean, it's probably struggling to even be 30 frames per second. Good challenge from
There
Basuma.
you go.
Matisse Tell, good touch. Does well to hold on to it here. Fair play by Matisse Tell.
Yeah.
Good challenge from Basuma, though, to win it back. Again, like Spurs have, compared to the Wickham game, struggled to really get their foot on the ball. Can you find Donley Basuma if he gets turned here? Luton Town pressing us high. We're struggling to deal with it. Van de Ven.
Oh,
The athleticism
only one
there.
way that's going to end. Only one way.
The athleticism there.
Van
You
de
don't
Ven
want him to
pushing
expend
forward.
himself too much, though. Maybe he does
Nope.
have to practice some of these.
Yeah, but he can't stop himself. He wants to freight train it.
Archie Gray, big switch of play. Down to Kudus, who brings it down well.
Lovely.
And it's another offside.
That was
Yeesh.
offside.
This game has been a non-event so far. Had 2 moments, really, but like I said, chances in this game. Oh, ball over the top. Vicario, easy. Basuma on the ball. Too many touches there, and not really a...
Jack, I hear some yelling and screaming downstairs. Stand
No
by
problem.
for me real quick.
Probably more eventful than what's happening here. Basuma. Archie. Those hamstrings of Mickey Van de Ven limpy down under are 40 million pounds each. Ball over the top from Archie Gray to Johnson. Can he get there? Kind of gave up on it. I felt like he could have maybe got there, but one thing about Johnson that I find kind of interesting is I actually don't think he's really that fast. As much as it feels like, you know, he's had a reputation of maybe being a pacey player, I really don't think he is. Even Kudus looks faster than him sometimes. Just feels like, you know, when it comes to quick burst acceleration, you know, Johnson just doesn't really seem to have it for me compared to other speedy wingers that you get to see. There's a zoom up and a close in on Josh Keeley. I kind of just mean more limpy, just like I just don't find him actually to be that rapid or anything. Which again, I just think sometimes works against him. Good ball out wide from Mickey Van de Ven to Jamie Donley. Here's Johnson, though. Takes it past his man with ease. Plays it down the line to Johnson, or to Donley. Good play. Donley looking to find some sort of space. Couldn't make his mind up, but he was surrounded by Luton Town players. Ball somehow stay in. Sir! Luton Town player went through the back of Jamie Donley. We have a free kick just in front of the corner flag.
Oh.
Look, a big one right there. Jamie Donley. Who's going to whip it in? Matisse Tell. Is he going to swing it in right on top of Josh Keeley? We'll find out. Opportunity to score from a set piece. If only we had Vuskovic.
Come on. Aim for Kevin Danzo's big slab. Oof.
Into the near post. Archie Gray was going after it, but it was cleared away. Matisse Tell one-on-one here. He's got a lot of space.
Go for another one.
Whips it into the back post. Kudus was there, but it was cleared away from a Luton Town. Can we win this here? Dangerous pass. Keeley's going to have to get rid. They are trying to play out. Spurs able to suffocate. Oh, yeah. Poor header there from... Not sure who that was there. It might have been Mickey Van de Ven because Spurs were suffocating Luton Town in their own half there and would have been good to have won the ball back. But it goes all the way back to Vicario, and we're going to have to build out from our own half here. Again, I'll be honest, everybody, not a lot has really been going on or happening. It's just been very, very even from both teams here. Johnson cutting inside, has to play it back to Danzo. Jet Spence has nowhere to go. It does feel like Archie Gray and Basuma are playing pretty much right next to each other, as if it's like a 2-man midfield instead of a 3-man midfield. Mikey Moore has kind of just been drifting all around the place. He doesn't seem to be playing as an orthodox center mid, and Mohamed Kudus has definitely been stuck to the right side. He's, as much as the graphic said that Kudus was going to be playing through the middle, I don't think that's really been the case this game.
Mickey's on another run. Doesn't make the pass accurately, though.
A lot of chippy fouls like that this game. But isn't that interesting? I mean, we kind of got the image or the graphic that Kudus would be playing through the midfield, but I guess he just hasn't. And then Mikey Moore maybe has been the closest thing to a number 10 or a midfielder in this game, but he's played relatively close to the striker from what I can tell. Stop passing it back. And Andrew's voice. Hey, at least we're not 3 goals down. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not been that entertaining from either team, really. It's not like Luton Town have done anything at all. They've been solid defensively, though, and they've caused us some problems just with this press. It's made it hard for us to really get our foot on the ball and make things happen. Like I said, the game has just been very even so far. Basuma. Can he pick out a pass? He goes for a switch of play. Does well to find the switch play out wide to Jet Spence. Top of the penalty area to Mikey Moore. Archie Gray can't get the first touch sorted. It's poor from Gray.
No, he also got caught in 2 minds there.
Oh, that did not look like a foul, ref. Ooh. Could also be the case that, part of the reason this game hasn't been exceptional is, maybe Archie Gray still kind of struggling with being a midfielder. Like, a lot of people wanted to see him, playing midfield last year, but I felt like he did get opportunities at some point, and he didn't necessarily take them, I thought. He's kind of always a bit anonymous in midfield, and I would say that's been kind of the case today. Kudus, good touch. Jet Spence. He just doesn't seem to get onto the ball as much as other midfielders too, Archie Gray. Like, he seems to just get marked kind of easily. Luton Town do well there to play through the pressure from Mikey Moore and Matisse Tell. Coming down our right-hand side, down Jet Spence. Opportunity for Jet Spence, one-on-one defensively. And the Luton Town player just gives up. Jet Spence maybe has been the only positive this game. Basuma on a marauding run. Can he pick out a pass? He does.
Oh, he just barely squeaks it by for Johnson.
I'm not sure what he's trying there. If he's gone for a shot, that's just silly.
No.
It's just no angle for him. Ugh, I'm not sure what Johnson's doing there, going for a shot. Good run from Basuma, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just my point, though, on Archie Gray. Again, always reading maybe too deep into things. It is only preseason, but Archie Gray last season, I think his issue is that just in the midfield, he was always super anonymous for a few reasons. Either when he did get onto the ball, he wasn't really doing anything spectacular or really that interesting to really help the team sort of develop or build moves. But then he doesn't even, as a midfielder, really have that many touches. Really good midfielders, that are good at actually dictating the play. They're always open. They're always, available to be given the ball. And it's just Archie Gray struggles to even get onto the ball. Whereas as much as Basuma, is heavily criticized for good reason, Basuma, I would say, has had plenty more touches and has shown for the ball plenty more times than Archie Gray has. Archie Gray just seems to get marked very easily. Or just doesn't even make himself even right there. It just doesn't really give his teammates the right option.
Yeah.
Something to take a look at, I would say, because Basuma, not like Basuma's had a great game, but he's definitely gotten onto the ball a lot more than Archie Gray has. Yeah, AK, I do understand. Like, I think I'm being a tad harsh, but it's just with the opportunities he did have last season, and he got a fair amount of opportunities towards the end of last season, and a lot of those games that didn't mean anything, those kind of Premier League games that had no consequence whatsoever when we already knew that our hopes and dreams were with the Europa League. He did get some games here and there. I was even at one of them against Crystal Palace at home, and he was one of the worst players on the pitch. You wouldn't even know that he played. Yeah. And whenever you're talking about a midfielder, especially I think like a deep lying midfielder, if you feel like they haven't even touched the ball or played, I mean, it's pretty damning, you know, because they're the ones who should be having some of the most touches. Here he is. Again, like, he just doesn't strike you with confidence sometimes. But again, I could be harsh because again, he only had so many games, but the games that he did have, he just wasn't that great. I even remember one of them against Aston Villa towards the end of the season. You know, he had a pretty poor game. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the Liverpool one is what comes to mind. That was the first ever one he had. But
yeah, that's what everybody brings up in particular. You know, getting thrown at the deep end, etc. The pressure on him, all that stuff. It seems to me a little bit too, like, as you said, he's being marked out. They're kind of targeting that central area, which is, you know, that's a danger zone. You know, if that's the case, then, you know, Frank needs to switch it up. He needs to move him to a different position, put somebody else in there, or do something else.
And maybe even right there, I'm not sure if this is the best of examples, but even right there, he has the ball in a deep area, and he sort of just gives like a 6-yard pass and a Jet Spence who was going nowhere. He had someone on his back. He's not going to be able to do anything with that Jet Spence. And then he gets picked and ends up giving away a free kick. But I'd say in that situation, that's a bit more on Gray. Like, he doesn't need to play that pass into Jet Spence. He should, if anything, just play it down the line, down that right side, keep it away from a danger area like this. But another free kick for Luton Town, and it's an absolute souvenir for the fans. If anything, it's taken off a shingle off of the rooftop. We're approaching 40 minutes, and I'll be honest, nothing has happened apart from that moment that we got excited about with Matisse Tell, Mohamed Kudus. Nothing has been happening in this game.
Yeah, questions come to mind with me is the head of your skyrocket, exactly. So is Thomas Frank going to try to do something to influence this game with a change or something like that? Or is he just going to let it ride and see if these guys can pull it out themselves?
Yeah, because in terms of options off of the bench,
you know, I think you definitely do not want to burn out or risk injury to either Tell or Kudus.
I mean, I would disagree with that part, Paolo, because if you watch the last game, Lucas Bergvall, I actually think, and Pop Matasar had a lot of influence in the game. They actually created some pretty good moves. Passing-wise, I think this game, the midfield has been pretty shot. Someone actually pointed out, though, I forget who it was in the chat, that they were a little worried about the midfield today of Mikey Moore and Jet Spence, poor giveaway. Phew!
Jeez.
Poor giveaway from Jet Spence, nearly a goal for Luton Town. But I would say, Paolo, like Lucas Bergvall and Pop Matasar were actually probably some of the better players in the last game. They actually created some nice moves. It's been a very different case, though, this game. Jet Spence and Archie Gray just not on the right wavelength there. Oh, geez, that almost took a nasty deflection.
Very lucky there.
Out for a corner, 5 minutes before halftime. And again, not a lot has happened. And if anything, Luton Town look more likely to potentially score. Spurs have even struggled to get out of their own half the last few minutes. Good to see you, Steve D. Hopefully you're doing all right, sir. I'd sort of agree with you, Steve, but I think Luton Town are kind of giving it their all for the most part this game because their season is about to start. So they kind of do have to play with more than 50% effort.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine artists that Dave is too happy with what he's seeing right now.
For the most part, though, we have dealt with these set pieces, except there, I guess, the Luton Town player could have done a little bit better. But it is only a preseason game, so it's also just kind of the intensity is not really going to be there from the fans, let alone the players, especially on our end. I think Luton Town have brought some intensity to it, but Spurs have just really been underwhelming so far. Jamie Donnelly, can he pick out a bit of magic? Finds Archie Gray, picks a pass to Matisse Tell, plays it. Probably should try to get turned there, Matisse Tell. He didn't need to play it back to Jet Spence. Once again, a ball played into Jet Spence that not really going to do a whole lot with it. Tell earns us a throw-in. Spurs have broken into Luton Town's half.
Finally. Hey, I missed. Was Madison on the bench or no? He's not.
No,
right?
I don't think he made the bench. No.
He's not ready. No.
It does look like that Madison could be returning sooner
Yeah.
than maybe expected, because some people were saying he wouldn't be able to make the first game of the season. By the looks of things, I think he will.
Yeah. Yeah, which is the godsend, frankly. Spurs trying to break down a right wing now.
Jet Spence played it over the top down the right side for Kudus, and it's a Spurs corner.
Yeah.
We get one against the run of play. Hate to say it that way.
What kind of clearance that was, but whatever that was, thank you for that.
League One clearance from the Luton Town player. Can Spurs do something from a set piece? To be honest, the last game we did nothing from our set pieces. I thought Pedro Porro was a little disappointing. Let's see if Matisse Tell can whip something in. Oi! Nearly there for someone.
Yeah.
I think it was Mickey Van de Ven. Yeah, Steve, it's good to see you, man. I think my point, though, is that for Spurs, definitely kind of more or less just a run out. I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case for Luton Town, man. Like, Luton Town, I think, are trying to play, for the most part, to their, to the highest intensity that they think is suited because their season starts very soon. So I do feel like plenty of games that are friendlies right before the season starts, you do see teams give it a bit more effort. Whereas with Spurs, I would argue, yeah, you're 100% right. It's probably just kind of a bit of a run out from us. I wouldn't say that's the case with Luton Town, that they just don't care at all about this game. I think they kind of do. This game has been absolute shite. Says Derek Hutchinson. It's definitely been the worst of the three so far. Of the three that we've seen, this has definitely been the worst half. Imperial saying Kudus should come centrally. Something needs to kind of change, I think. And we've now reached halftime. Well, it's going to struggle to have much to say, everybody, because nothing has really happened in this game. Spurs had, like I said, one moment from real individual quality from Matisse Tell and Mohamed Kudus. But apart from that, I mean, we have struggled to do literally anything. Whereas I would say in the Wickham game, there were some nice moments, where Spurs either won the ball in a good area, turned it over in decent areas, some nice play from time to time where there were actually some opportunities or half chances here and there that they could have done better with. This game, I don't even know if we've had anything more than quarter chance, to be honest. Yeah. It's been pretty poor.
Yeah. I mean, Johnson looked slightly a little bit brighter than usual for the first 10, 15 minutes. But I think he really fizzled out after that. After at least 20 minutes, it reverted to type. The only bright sparks we saw were coming off the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Barring one or two freight train runs from Mickey Van de Ven, it didn't end up going anywhere.
Do you think Thomas Frank is experimenting with I think he is experimenting with a slightly different formation or different shape here, because it has felt like Mikey Moore has barely gotten into the game. He's barely even touched the ball this game. But I don't even know if he's even playing as your orthodox number 10 or attacking midfielder because he's
It
just
doesn't
been
look like
roaming
it.
all around.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I don't know what you would call it.
I think it's been some version of like a 4-2-4 or something like that, where we've had maybe Matisse Tell and Mikey Moore kind of playing off of each other. Mohamed Kudus is playing on that right side. He's very much stuck to that right side, and so has Brennan Johnson, stuck to the left side. I feel like they've been the wingers for this game. But then Mikey Moore, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to be nice to him, but if he's playing as a number 10 or something like that, this guy has barely gotten into the game. It's just he hasn't really dropped deep to receive it, Mikey Moore, which is why I would think he's not necessarily playing or is being instructed to play as a regular number 10 or midfielder, because we would see James Madison, Kulusevski, when they played as like the attacking midfielder in a 3-man midfield, you would see them drop deep every now and again to pick up the ball off of Basuma or off of Archie Gray, whereas Mikey Moore, from what I can tell, has stayed relatively high up the pitch, kind of next to Matisse Tell, or at least playing off of him. And it seems like the likes of Archie Gray and Basuma are almost playing as a pivot. You wouldn't say that one or the other is playing higher up than and they're not even getting that far forward, in like a box to box sort of sense. They do seem like kind of a double pivot type of midfield right now.
Yeah, which if that's the case, I'm fine with it. We need experimentation right now. Yes, he's using this to get a look at players too, but also to see who works in what different formation. Without a doubt, the Wickham game, the midfield was a lot more together, a lot more effective, 100%. And it could be Mikey Moore is kind of the sacrifice for experiment right now. If we are sure that we're going to send him out on loan, then hey, we don't have a recognized number 10 right now. Why not just put him in that position and let him roam around and let everybody else do their job?
Yeah. I mean, someone made a funny comment. I wonder what Frank's breakdown of this game would be.
Yeah.
What do you think? Frank is, with the lack of what he's probably seen, is that maybe, again, it goes both ways, right? Where in games like this, when it is a bit underwhelming, it does give him something to think about, in the sense that, hey, listen, I haven't really seen a whole lot, this game. That maybe means that these players either don't work together, or this shape maybe isn't working, or is something we need to just work on in general. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's Thomas Frank, with how little he's seen this game. I wonder what he's kind of thinking.
Yeah, I think it's a formation experiment, man, and I would not be surprised at all to see a formation change. First and foremost, aside from a personnel change.
Yeah. Luckily, I think I was able to see that. I do have some Fox Deportes, so maybe by switching over to the Deportes, we might actually get some better football. And I wonder also if the halftime isn't going to be nearly as long like it was last time. It was like 6-7 minutes, whereas this time they are actually going into the dressing room. So you wonder if Thomas Frank is going to get that tactics board out, which Dave had absolute nightmares over seeing that tactics board come out. It definitely needs to come out this time, because a lot of players just didn't look like they really knew what they were doing, to be perfectly honest. Like I said, with Archie Gray, he just was so anonymous. And then anytime he did receive the ball, he did look a bit panicked and didn't really know how to sort of progress the ball forward. Basuma, dare I say, actually was probably the better of the midfielders, but I wouldn't necessarily say he was
that's
anything to rave about.
Yeah,
really, no one does actually. Would you say there's anyone that's played especially well? I know you said the Jets' Mohamed Kudus side has been good.
Yeah. Spence looked decent defensively.
Yeah.
He had a one or two shaky moments, but it looks like he's ramping up. But I thought Kudus and Tell both were very promising.
Yeah. It's not been, it's just maybe compared to the Wickham game, which really wasn't, the most entertaining of games either. It's definitely been nothing in comparison. I mean, it's not like really Luton Town have threatened that much. There haven't really been that many sketchy moments. It's not like we've been under the cosh the whole time either. It's just been
they have been putting the press on and putting it on high, which is dangerous.
Yeah.
It would, puts us on the back foot right from the off. They were like that. So I don't know if maybe we weren't expecting that, or it's just too early in our season to be dealing with that right now. I don't know.
But even when Luton Town did actually have possession, they weren't really
They
creating
didn't
much of
do
anything,
a whole lot with it.
despite that high press you're talking about.
Yeah, there were some crosses across goal that just nobody was there to finish off that were very dangerous. Other than that, though, it's been long shot sky balls.
Um,
Thoughts
AK
on Johnson,
Shags.
Ryan? Yeah, thoughts on Johnson, Ryan? I mean, I mentioned earlier he was playing off the left, which I thought was an interesting choice. I've never loved it, but for the first 15 minutes or so, he looked a little bit sharper on it. He was putting in crosses in the air that were decent enough, and he was trying to get past his man, and he did get past his man a couple of times. After that 20 minutes, though, right back to type. He just became a bit anonymous and was giving away unnecessary free kicks.
Yeah. Lesser known saying, bring out Thompson. He was actually very bright in that game. I would like to see Thompson again. He definitely took his opportunity, that's for sure. I wonder why even he was given more minutes than some of the younger players. Maybe because they only wanted to give so many minutes to someone like Sonny. But, the fact that he was trusted to come on sooner than some of the other younger players, I wonder if that says something. AK Sheg saying, anybody worried about our build-up play? Game 3 now, and seems like we just hoof long balls over the top and failed to break a press.
Well,
I thought Reading in this game, and Reading and Wickham actually had some nice build-up play at times.
Well, so let's hypothetically assume that it is a 4-2-4. Then you're naturally going to be going out wide regardless, and that's the plan. The plan is to get more practice into going out wide and across the play, doing switches of play, because you're not going to have a lot of strength in the middle to try to push through. It's so I'm gonna glass half full. I'm gonna say that's the plan and part of why they're trying out this formation to see who can handle it when it needs to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not been exceptional, play so far, but I don't know. I think when we've gone for more of a orthodox 4-3-3 in the Reading game as well as the Wickham game, I did feel like the building up, from the back through the midfield was a lot nicer. Whereas this game, it does feel like we've, at least I hope, have gone for some type of different shape or some type of different formation or whatever. And it's not working, I guess. And some of these players maybe just need more time with it or just aren't really taking their opportunity, and trying to execute what Thomas Frank is wanting from them. It does feel like they're going to need some real instructions here at halftime. Vicario's not really had much to deal with. There's been maybe one sketchy moment where I think one of the Luton Town players had an opportunity to square the ball to someone, but he instead kind of went for some sort of shot and it deflected off Dan's zone. Probably could have gone anywhere, to be perfectly honest. I don't even know if any team, maybe I'm being kind to us and maybe I'm being harsh on Luton, but I don't know. I don't think any team deserves to have a goal. I think almost 0-0 seems kind of fair at the minute.
Yeah, I think that we had every chance of conceding one or two, but that would have been more our fault rather than Luton's ability.
Steve D saying, remember results like Mainz beating Liverpool or Accrington Stanley beating Marseille or Walsall beating Ajax. It's simply a training exercise for Thomas Frank. Friendlies are littered with meaningless results. I mean, I agree with Steve D partially, Nick, and that I do think the first couple of games of a preseason, I don't think you can read as deeply into it, but I do feel like once you reach, I don't know, like the game versus Bayern Munich right before we play PSG, I think that's when you can start to read into it a bit more, because you would like to think that they want to win that Super Cup and they would probably look to play some of their best stuff and probably put in more intensity against, the likes of a Bayern Munich to prepare themselves for the Super Cup. And then after the Super Cup, you're in the Premier League season. So I think eventually, the preseason games, you start to see a bit more intensity than just, trying to get back into shape and just trying to learn how to kick a ball again, But I would agree with Steve D partially on that. Where do you stand on his kind of feeling like these are all just meaningless?
Well, first, I mean, yeah, they're meaningless, but still meaningless in that they're not progressing our season forward. You're fine, but it is a game of football. We are going to analyze it. That's what they're doing it too. So there is meaning to it. There's meaning to try to see what level some players are at, to see what's going to work, what does it. There is definitely meaning to it. I'm not going to, run out of the room in tears because we had a bad showing or anything like that. But, we're here to fucking talk about football. We're talking
Yeah,
about
it's not like
football. They're
Thomas
playing a
Frank at
game of football
halftime.
in front of us.
It's not like Thomas Frank at halftime is saying to these guys, "Oh, it's all meaningless." Like
Yeah.
he is probably instructing them to do something differently, or he is saying like, "Listen, guys, this is what we have to do this time around," or "This wasn't working," or you know what I'm trying to say. Like it's not like he's taking it with that sort of approach. So if the players, I doubt even the players even look at it as being completely meaningless.
No.
Even Eddie Howe, right, was being asked about that 4-0 loss to Celtic, and he didn't say at any point, like, oh, it's all meaningless. It doesn't really matter. Like he did say, like, yeah, no, there were a lot of things we didn't get right. There were a lot of things that we need to do better. He also gave excuses. Even he was saying like, oh, we're a little bit tired, from this and that. And so I don't know. Like I think maybe for us as fans, we can sort of look at it maybe in that way. And yes, the results, tend to go a bit crazy and a bit haywire with friendlies, but I do feel like some of them you eventually do have to take somewhat seriously. But I don't know. Feel free, everybody, to disagree or let me know in the chat, how you kind of treat these, whether you actually do read a lot into them or whether you don't. Personally, I think as each preseason game goes on, each one for me becomes more serious and more of an opportunity to make deeper conclusions about, this team. But of course, with Thomas Frank being a brand new manager, like we do have to try to, look into things of what he's trying to instill, what he's trying to teach, what sort of formations he's going to experiment with. We know he's a very tactically flexible manager, so he's going to try a lot of different things. And, that's what preseason's all about, is to see him experiment and see him try different formations, different personnel in different positions, to see what he can do in the Premier League and regular season when there are actual results and consequences, to your decisions. Whereas in the preseason, it's kind of a free hit, and that you can make mistakes and no one's going to cry over it, like, Nick was saying. But that's what part of the way you can look into it is just, yeah, it's an opportunity to see him practice things and instill things, with the benefit knowing that there isn't any, consequence to it all. Drewzilla is saying result is meaningless. Practicing your craft is never meaningless.
True, indeed.
Maybe that's a better way to put it. And that's probably what I'm trying to say, is that the results are meaningless, but practicing and trying to instill these things is not meaningless. That's what it's about, is trying to figure out things and experiment things, and also just try to build that cohesion over whatever Thomas Frank is trying to instill here. So 100% right, Drew.
Yeah, listen, that there are players on that pitch that are secure in their positions and their standing going forward for this season on this team, and there are players who aren't so secure on it, and then there's younger players who are trying to make an impression. So it's kind of weeding out who really wants it, man. Who really wants to be playing for this team and moving it forward.
The other thing too is there are guys that you can look at that, you can feel like, oh yeah, that guy's going to need some preseason minutes. He's going to need some games under his belt. Whereas then you see other guys who look like they're kind of ready straight away, for the regular season. I felt that way with Bentancur, even though Bentancur unfortunately is out with a sickness. He looked, very good against Reading. He looked like he could play the Premier League season, the next day. I think Romero has looked pretty ready, actually, for the most part, even though he's coming back from various injuries. And of course, I think had some time off. He's looked pretty good for the most part. And there have been some other guys, even Pop Matasar, I think, has looked like he's in incredible shape and looks ready to take on, the season. But then you have guys like we mentioned today, Archie Gray, a Basuma, a Richarlison, a Sonny. They look like they really need these preseason games, especially maybe even the likes of a Sonny and a Richarlison from the previous game. They looked like they need as many minutes as possible before we actually get started and get underway here. PSG or no Luton, that's for sure. Definitely don't want to be playing PSG tomorrow. That's for sure. What's nice though about what Chelsea had done to PSG is at least we know they are technically beatable.
They are
PSG
gettable,
at one point,
without a doubt. Yeah.
They did look indestructible, and they did look like a team that I don't know how you beat them, but Chelsea did find a way. They picked out that ball over the top, down the fullback sides, and they look to try to isolate some of those center backs, with those balls in behind for Joao Pedro. And you would imagine that someone like Thomas Frank, who's very flexible, would look at that as, maybe a chance to.
I mean, is that why we're going long so much, especially in this one? Because that's how Chelsea opened them up.
Yeah, 100%. We're about to get kicked off here, though. I'm just gonna see who's subbed in. Frank is spending the whole game talking to his coaches, being played different angle replays on iPads, watching and communicating. I think we have a manager here. A lot of people were very in love with the fact that he brings out the tactics board and that he is just a bit more active on the touchline than Ange Postecoglou. Do you read much into that, Nick? You know, kind of the antics of managers on the touchline?
Not as much as other people do. Not at all. You know, I mean, it's really... I don't think that the managers are really affecting that much by yelling at people on the pitch in a fucking stadium with 65,000 other people as much as people make it out to. They want a big show and they want hand gestures. I don't think it's that effective. When they have a moment, and if you're a manager like Frank, when you want to affect the game very heavily by tactical changes, okay, that's great, but that's not how Angelotti coaches. It's people have their own coaching styles. And they got to go with what works for them.
Mm-hmm. But we have gotten kicked off here, everybody. Another 45 minutes of football. It can't get much more dull than the last first half. So in a way, we're only going up from here.
Keely being very
I
vocal
felt far
about
more
something.
awake during the first game, which is really saying something.
Me too, dude. As soon as the whistle blew in the last one, I started fading. I got to try to pep myself back up again. This is
that first half really would put someone to sleep if you ever had any sort of issues. That first half from this game, absolutely
better than melatonin. Just watch that first half again.
Kinski looks like he's come in. Trying to see who else. I'm not seeing any other changes.
No, Gray's still back there. Biz, Danzo.
Oh, little
Kinski
Meg
out
from
to Danz.
Danzo. Well done.
Yeah,
And Kudu's
yeah.
showing the strength there. He is deceptively strong, as someone pointed out in a previous game.
Whoa.
Matisse Tell
Tell on the break.
going all the way across the pitch, Matisse Tell. But really good strength there from Kudos. Absolutely shown whoever that was. The weight room. Fox Deporte is not much better than Spurs play
No.
so far.
Hey, Jack, tell me when you get to 47.
Okay.
I want to see if we're in line. Tells with it again.
Yeah, I'm at 47 now.
Okay, I'm a little behind you.
Okay, I can pause.
Yeah. Yeah, pause 3 seconds. But we're looking like we have a little more intent coming out here.
Maybe Deportes doesn't let me.
Oh, it doesn't let you pause. Johnson trying to get past his
Might go
man,
back to
bobbles it
Spurs
again.
play. Maybe I'm too
Yeah.
privileged.
Yeah, you might need to. Basuma with a chip at goal. What the hell was that? I'm not really sure. Keely picking it up out of the stands. Looking confused about something. Keely with the long one gives it up for a throw. Donnelly with the throw.
Not the best of sponsors for Luton Town when you got financial planning on the back of your shorts. Shows they're really in a dire state.
Yeah. They could have used a bit more of that in the last season.
Kudus again, the strength from this kid. Man, the guy is just so
nice.
good at riding challenges, and Basuma with an absolute airhead of a pass. Had all the time in the world, Basuma. Went for a
Yeah.
big switch of play. Couldn't find him. Mickey Van de Ven working the Pistons there to try to clean up after Basuma. Kudos, everybody. This guy sometimes, just his ability to just ride challenges. Like, he was able to hold up the ball there and then just take it past two players. And then they look, plenty of times they look like they're trying to take him out. And he just still can just squeeze past them. The guy is again, just as a ball carrier, is just got that. People have said it. I kind of thought it was a very, very generous comparison, but he does have that bit of a Moussa Dembele-like vibe to him when he carries the ball. Like he doesn't go down. Like,
players bounce off of him.
Exactly. And, players like Madison, to an extent, they kind of go down once they take that one hit, and then they sort of roll around. Kudus is like the opposite of a Neymar in that regard.
Oh, that was dangerous. Nobody got off the ground in time.
It's not really someone that you would think would die for a penalty, Kudus. Jet Spence once again. One-on-one, cleared away by Danzo.
Clears out for a throw-in for Luton.
I'm so tired of this, Sean Maddox. Yeah, that was atrocious from Basuma.
I can't disagree with you, Sean. I try to give Biz the benefit of the doubt as much as I can, but it's just like he, as much good as he does occasionally, he does so much worse more often.
The sad part is, though, Sean, and of course we have another half to confirm this, but Archie Gray has been actually worse. And again, even right there, he's very negative on the ball. He's not putting his teammates into good positions when he is the midfielder. That first touch even there doesn't fill me with confidence. Yeah. He just keeps putting some of these guys in bad areas. Does well there, though. Kudus does really well to hold it up. The strength on this kid, man. Van de Ven with another trademark run. Van de Ven.
All you gotta do is you can only try to take him down when he's on a run like that, man. Grab his arm and hope for the best.
Jedi. To Kudus. Oh my man, this guy's just going off. Kudus is just deciding to go off here. Jet Spence.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that was the best decision there, Jedi.
Yeah, he decided to hold it up, didn't need to, and he absolutely kills the player.
Knocking it back, and then you draw the free kick. Not great.
Yeah, like you're saying there, he didn't need to necessarily hold it up like that. Luton Town players seem to think it was a foul, though. But yeah, Sean, just saying, something to look out for. Like, Basuma has by no means been good, but he has, in my opinion, been better than Archie Gray. Archie Gray has done less than nothing this game so far. Luton Town having the majority possession. Down our... Oh, jeez. And that was a big chance for Luton Town with a huge save from Vicario.
Nice save by Vic.
They worked it down the left side, put in a dangerous cross towards the back post, and absolutely fired at Vic. Vic put himself in a good spot to save it, but, jeez, that looked like it was about to be a goal. It's been all Luton Town this half.
Yeah, Limpy, I'm not against that either.
Another dangerous cross.
Oh, man. I think Biz plays better when he has license to go forward and he's just trying to progress the ball and he doesn't have to think too much about where his teammates are. He's just trying to get it forward and look for an open player quickly.
Sorry, Kinski, I did forget. Oh, I mean, earlier I mentioned that Kinski had come into the game, and then all of a sudden I forgot. Kind of right at him, but good positioning from Kinski.
And just Ogiyam Ada, I think, in my opinion, Kudos has been our best player on the pitch, probably by far right now. But he's up for it right now, and he's expressing himself.
Luton Town once again. Jeez, they've had a few chances here. Spurs are unraveling.
Well, at least Van de Ven and Danzo seem to be working okay together.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's if Danzo didn't have his head screwed on right, he would have had an open shot.
Steve D saying riding a tackle is a lost art in the modern game.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it 100%, right, Steve? And if anything, the only positive has probably been this half is that Kudus does look like he's kind of taking a bit more responsibility, a bit more initiative. Like once he's receiving the ball, he's not just passing it backwards. He's looking to take on his man. They're going very direct here, Luton, and they're doing well with it. They're causing us some problems. Not sure who he is, but this number 7 is absolutely causing us problems. He wasn't in the first half. Jet Spence was dealing with him easily. But this half, we really have not dealt with him. It's causing us some issues. Spurs, though, maybe a turnover here. I'm not sure how it happened. Matisse Tell, Johnson. Free kick given away. What's happened here? How is they given a free kick? Josh Keeley with an absolute howler. Oh, it's just the first. Sir, certainly that was a foul.
Yeah.
Felt like Kudus
Very
was
unfair.
back there.
Very unfair.
I was going to say Kudus' maybe first touch wasn't the greatest. If anything, he probably didn't need to take a touch. Should have just tried to see if he could get a shot off. Josh Keeley getting away with a howler there. I don't know what he was doing. He thought he was Prime Neuer trying to chest that down. Josh Keeley thinks he was Ederson trying to chest that. Crazy, man. Kinski actually does well there since there wasn't a Luton Town player trying to press us. Kinski. Danzo, come on. Let's see if we can actually string something together here. Danzo out wide to Jet. Finds Kudus. Again, Kudus does really well with his first touch. Gray.
Lucky Kudus was there. That ball looked like it was meant for Donnelly.
Yeah. Or yeah, for Mikey.
Yeah, for Mikey. Yeah.
Big Kev. Jedi. The Mixter. Yeah, that's my thing, AK. That's what I'm trying to say with Gray, man. It's just, I feel like every time he does receive it, he's very negative. He always looks to play sideways or backwards, and he's never picking out a pass that's like even longer than 10 yards. And I would say as well, like he doesn't really get onto the ball very often. He doesn't really show for it. Stefan, with an underwhelming window so far and a few crappy preseason games, my hype for the new season is negative already. I wouldn't go that far yet, Stefan. Like, I'm not in that position, but I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. This has been easily the worst of the preseason games so far. I'm not really that displeased with the other ones. The other ones I thought were actually kind of fine. I wasn't really that concerned with the other ones. The other ones were kind of more individual performances, were kind of worth maybe diving into.
Spence, you know, but if you're on him like that, something like that's going to happen, man. You know, you're on his back too much, Spence. So.
Guy's been causing him some problems, so Jedi was getting up in his business, took a blow to the face there.
Yeah.
Wonder how much of it is acting or how much of it is Jedi showing a bit of yeah, he definitely took one to the chompers there.
It's a little bell ringer. Shawnee Maddox appreciating the better cinematography at this pitch than at Hotspur Way.
Yeah.
It's a mark of his class, is what that is.
It's been the day of low angles.
Yeah.
Kinski sends it long. Feels like this game in the second half, the ball has just stayed glued to this right side, our right side. The ball has barely even gotten out wide to the left. I don't even know if Johnson's had a touch.
Is Johnson still on the pitch?
Yeah, he is.
I
I
haven't
don't
even
even know
seen
if we've gotten it out wide
Yeah.
at all to the left. It's been the only... It's really just been Jed Spence.
Sketchy. Oh,
Yeah, it's just nowhere to go for Jed, and he does
Yeah.
give it away. But it's been all just Mohamed Kudus and Jed Spence touching the ball.
yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeesh. It's not a game to fall in love with football, I'll tell you that. Not a game to show to your young kid. This is the beautiful game. Looks like some changes are being made by Luton Town. Put Donley in midfield, says Shawnee. I mean, yeah, dude, I think you got to take Mikey Moore off. I hate to say it. The guy's also just been anonymous, Mikey Moore. It's like he's kind of just, it's like been a running exercise for him. He's barely even touched the ball. Johnson has barely touched the ball this second half. He was a lot better in the first, but like Nick said, he was good in the first 10, 15, but after that, he kind of disappeared. In this game, he's really disappeared. I'm not sure if it's totally his fault, though. I mean, we've not even been able to get it out wide at any point on that left side.
Looks like we got a lot of people warming up. Come on, Archie.
Can you pick out a pass here? He goes forward this time, and he overhits it to Matisse Tell. Or sorry, to Johnson. Luton Town going down our left side here. Johnson's having to track back defensively to help out. Does well, Johnson. Donley, can you get rid of it? Matisse Tell couldn't hold on to it, trying to hold it up. Got bullied there. More of the same in the second half. I think that was the right idea from Archie Gray earlier, Michael. He just couldn't execute it.
Yeah, it was poor.
I think it was a good switch of
pass.
play. It was a good idea. It's just he couldn't complete it, and he was pretty wide open, Brendan Johnson.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Shawnee, we don't have a whole lot of options there. I don't remember exactly who's on the bench, but seeing as we just put out a full side plus subs about 2 hours ago, we don't have a hell of a lot of options.
In terms of the bench options, I mean, yeah, Donley also started this game, even though he was supposed to be on the bench, because it was supposed to be Destiny Udogie that was supposed to start at left back. You have Young Min Hook, he could come in. Lancashire could come in. Alfie Devine, technically. I mean, it's kind of funny with Mikey Moore versus Alfie. It'd be nice to see Donley be given that opportunity in midfield, but I'm not really sure
who's going to come in as another.
Yeah, who would play as a left back?
Do we have another center back if we want to move Mickey out to like a young kid?
You have a young defender in Byfield. I know he's or Befield. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but I've seen his name
I'd like to see
about
Hyuk.
as very talented.
I'd like to see Hyuk come in for Johnson.
Yeah.
Or even if you got to take Kudus out because you want to rest him, that's fine. I just would really love to see something change on the midfield.
I think this is Byfield coming in. He's coming in for Danzo.
For Kevin the Rock Danzo.
Yeah, this guy's supposed to be very talented. He's supposed to be kind of with Luca Williams-Barnett as the next best.
Right, Scarlett's on the bench too, man. I'm not seeing Scarlett out there.
Yeah. It's been dead. I mean, we'll see how much a center back change really impacts things, but
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. And Kevin Danzo wasn't really doing anything wrong. Uh-oh. They've already gone through. Yeesh.
To know
And
them.
again, I'd say Luton Town do look like the more likely to score here. Kudus gives it away. Well done by Archie Gray winning the ball there. Goes for a ball over the top to Johnson. Hangs up there.
Decent
but good
enough.
touch from Johnson.
Decent enough, Archie.
Good touch from Johnson.
But,
and then we
Johnson
still are
reverting
forcing it
right
backwards.
back to type. Yep.
It's hard to say. Again, I'm not trying to pick him out, but it's hard to say whether he could even go forward. But maybe if it was Kudus who had received it, you'd be seeing him flying forward with it. Basuma here. He's got time. Gives it out wide to Jed Spence. Jed Spence has had probably the most touches, it feels like, of anyone. And he's not really been able to go anywhere with it. Jed into Tell. Tries to play a 1-2 with him.
Back to Kinski. Kinski recycling it around.
Good turn from Matisse Tell. Absolutely shakes his man. Sprays it out wide to Johnson. Gets there. Johnson. Good touch. Doing too much there, though. He had options as well. He's just doing too much. It's not a smart play by Johnson. He had Donnelly. He had Mikey Moore. Didn't need to do that. And Luton Town are on the break here. They got space. Cutting inside. Kudus gives away another foul. It's kind of poor from Kudus. He's kind of going nowhere at that point. He's giving away a few fouls here, Kudus. Kind of goes through the back of him. Another free kick at the top of the square. How's the match going, Jack? Has it started, El Dante? That's my question. Not sure. We're still waiting for the match to actually. Yeah, still waiting for the match to actually get going.
They're just doing
here.
a little pre-match prep in here.
Feels like the game has been on delay. Again, El Dante, very impressed that you went on a run on the birthday. Not usually. It shows real dedication. Robin saying, I can hear Ange yelling, stop passing backwards. Well, get Johnson off. This isn't working, saying Sean. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just hold Johnson to such a low standard, but I don't think he's been really that poor. But I've also, I mean, I don't know. I don't have the highest of expectations of him. But I would say, like, we have struggled to get it over to that left side this game. Oh, good play from Kudus. Oh, man on. Let's see if Spurs can get any sort of...
Limpy, seeing as we've only actually signed one person through the door other than Takai, who we haven't seen yet. Yes, it would be. Last season's best 11 would be the same. We haven't brought in that many people.
This game is as exciting as our transfer window is.
Yeah. You know what? I say to move Tell out to the left, hook Johnson, put Scarlett in there.
Yeah. Jed, just too much dribbling again, though, there. He's kind of dribbling into a trap. Basuma. What also I think has shown is Archie Gray and Basuma together does not work.
Yeah. Especially in this way. If it were Bentancur instead of Archie Gray, maybe. But, playing the majority of the game in this formation, which I do not think is the same formation that we've been seeing in the other two games at all, because these midfielders are not playing in the same way. Maybe with Bentancur it might work a little bit better, but I still don't love it. Big up yourself, DJ AK, every time.
Yeah, DJ, good to see you, sir. How you doing, Anthony? This is absolutely a game where, like, if anything, TJ, this is absolutely a game where, like, you crack open the beers just to make any of this just a bit more entertaining. You're like, well, at least I'm watching sports, with some beer on. That's what's nice. And you're watching it with just coffee and a glass of water. You really are like, geez, what am I doing here? Even Nick, thankfully has joined us today, but he's missing a gorgeous sunrise this morning. Is it especially humid or gross out today, though, Nick?
I mean, how the hell would I know? I've been here for the last 5 hours.
Stupid question.
Yesterday was absolutely brutal, man. It was like 102, something like that. Plus humid. It was rough. Today's supposed to be a lot cooler. Thank God.
I hate to say, like, I don't miss that about. I don't even miss New York weather at all. Like, that's the thing. There's not really one season I especially enjoyed over there.
Yeah, I mean, spring and fall, those are lovely. I love them in New York.
I feel like even I remember in the fall, though, like I remember in November at one point I was with you, it was 80 degrees, and humid. It was disgusting.
All right.
El Dante saying only 27 minutes. Used to be able to do it in less than 20. That's crazy, man. That would be like, what, 630 miles, basically? I think I can get under 20 as well, but I mean, I'd be pushing it. Like, that's like where you're really cranking it. And it's also funny when you're running that fast and you're running around other people, they look at you like you're a crazy person. It's like, geez, man, just take it easy.
Yeah, Echo Man. No, I don't think we have had a shot.
No, definitely not.
Not this half.
We would have gotten excited. And thank you for the support, El Dante. Everyone, do smash a like. Thanks for being here with us. Check out my summary from the Wickham game. I'm not sure if I can even summarize this game. It would probably be 3 minutes, to be honest. Just be my intro, my conclusion, and then maybe 1 minute about the analysis of the actual game. Not even sure what I could even talk about. Whereas the other game, there were definitely some things to chat about. This one, literally nothing. I had to crack open a Chardonnay after 15 minutes. Yeah. Probably get a few shooters in as well, Patch Thomas, just to make it a bit more entertaining. Mikey Moore, who, like I said, has barely touched the ball. Jet Spence going down this right side. Finds Kudus, but I don't know. Like, Kudus
not enough on it, man. I mean, it was a good idea, but not enough on it.
Tan's coming along nicely. You do tan very well, Anthony. Me, it's just some of it turns to tan, a lot of it turns to freckles, and a lot of it turns to red. And then if I'm lucky, the red eventually turns into tan. Wimpy Down Under. I rewatch all the games. I think I might fall asleep to this one. This one is not worth rewatching at all.
No.
Big switch. It's not a bad cross at all, actually, from Jed.
Just nobody
there.
Nobody with their head up,
That's the perfect cross for someone like or I think it was Matisse Tello might have crossed it, but that was the perfect cross for someone like a Johnson to be there.
Yeah, El Dante, I absolutely think Mikey Moore is going on loan, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think he's playing in the position that he's playing and the way he's playing in this one because there's no real instruction for him. That's totally speculation on my part, but there's no real instruction for him, and he's going on loan, and he needs to be starting games. And he's not going to get that this season here. So if we want to keep him, we want to develop him, he's got to be starting games.
Aster saying, is there a specific amount of times when Van de Ven is allowed to run through the whole team in a sweaty goal? At this point, I'd say give him the green light.
Yeah.
Just go. Make something happen. I think the only way Spurs could end up scoring this game is we just need to find a way to get it into Kudus. But looks like we're making a host of changes now. I'm seeing a lot of the youngsters warming up and potentially coming in. So we would see, we've already seen Byfield come in, who's a center back, but it looks like Olasesi, Rio Kirmatin,
definitely Yang and
Young Min
Scarlett.
Hook is coming in. Alfie Devine is coming in. A host of changes from Thomas Frank here. I mean, at this point, might as well. Like,
Right.
there's been no change from the first half. So I mean, it can't get much worse. Kinski, very strong there. Well done,
Good
Kinski.
job. Authoritative.
Byfield into Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore. Mikey.
Skins past a
keeping
player, but
Good
kind of
job.
didn't go much
Uh,
with it. Donley coming into midfield. Jedi.
Spence looking for the long ball, but doesn't take it. Goes forward with it.
Kudos nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Luton Town, I mean, it's hard to tell if it's a bit of Spurs just
Open
being really
Archie.
pedestrian, but Luton Town struggled to break them down. Big ball over the top though from Matisse or from Jedi does well.
Jed.
Oh, Brendan Johnson, what's
Yeah,
he doing
no,
there?
the
Just
wrong
give it to
decision.
Tell.
Yeah, or a little bit
Kudos.
further inside, man.
Oh, he's absolutely skinned him alive, Kudos. Oh!
Oh!
Johnson, the shot on goal, just not enough power on it. Kudos absolutely rinsed his man there.
Yeah, that was absolutely the best play of this half.
Johnson, I mean, it was a good kind of route one approach from Jed Spence earlier. He kind of just went for a big ball over the top and behind, and then did Johnson even get a foot on it? No, it was the defender. Johnson wasn't really perfectly towards him, but earlier it was just a good route one ball from Jed Spence just to make Luton Town actually defend something. And it ended up working out. Matisse Tell battled with his man, and it fell to Johnson. And Johnson just, again, he did this earlier in the game where he went for like a shot or something. And when all he needs to do is just square it to somebody. He needs to actually get his head up. Seems to make his decision in the box way too early. Mikey Moore coming off. Everybody seems to be coming off. Jed Spence has come off. Archie Gray has come off. So many players that have just been completely anonymous are coming off. Johnson coming off, anonymous. Tell coming off. I think pretty much everybody's now off. Maybe apart from Kudos, but I could be wrong. Maybe he's also been taken off.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't leave him on there and risk it right now.
Basuma off. Van de Ven off.
Full squad change.
And anything at this point. Jeez, sketchy there from Alfie Devine. Uh-oh. It in fact can get worse. But can Dame Mbappe potentially be a hero here? And I do think maybe Jamie Donnelly has stayed on. So maybe we do get 10-ish minutes, 13 minutes here to see Jamie Donnelly be given an opportunity in midfield. And Olasesi has, of course, come in. We get to see maybe more minutes for him in the midfield.
So is Kudos still on the pitch?
Been yet to see the right-hand side. I didn't see him come off. Yeah, wholesale minus Kudos, says Patch Thomas.
Pick that ball
Well
up.
done, Young Min Hook.
Yeah.
Showing the pace. Kudos. Or sorry, believe that might have been Russell Denny or Roselle. I'm not sure which one is which. I'm not too familiar with either of them. But we have a new right back on.
And is Donnelly still on the
I
left?
still don't see Kudos. Maybe he was taken off. Would have subbed on one of those kids, see if anything changed.
They looked eager enough.
Yeah. I would imagine Rio Kirmanton playing as a right back, Tyler?
Kudus is off now.
Yeah, Kudus is off. Young Min Hook showing a bit of hunger. It looked like it went off the Luton Town player, though, there. Be laughter if the kids score a winner. To be honest, this game has been anything but entertaining or comedy or whatever. It's just been dull. Dull as dishwater. But, you know, with some of these younger players, you do get a bit more hunger, a bit more desire from them. Kinski, come out. Thank you, sir. The replay guy is asking too much of himself here. Big switch of play from the Luton Town player. He does find his right winger. At this point, it'd just be nice to see some quality from either team.
Yeah. We're getting into Snoozeville right now too. I'm putting in my lunch order.
Luton Town, like, they had that one. Oh, here's a bit, and their own player gets in the way. Their own player tackles.
If we can get through the next 10 minutes without somebody making a drastic mistake, I'm going to consider it a win.
Oy.
I'm getting a sub, Tyler.
And it's like,
I told the missus to make it her choice, but you better not mess it up or else. Probably an Italian combo, something like that.
it really is the can we pretend we scored a goal?
Healthy man.
Can we pretend we scored a let's pretend. Let's pretend. Let's pretend we scored a goal. Olasesi. Nice little clip ball into, I believe, Young Min Hyuk.
Bit of slap in the hands.
Or maybe Dame Mbappe. Divine. Back to Kinski. Donley
with it.
Nice idea. Overhits it, though. Oh, my gosh. I'm telling you, just 1 ounce of quality is what I require. Just please. Just like to see someone do something interesting.
I mean, the fakery was a good idea, but the execution on the pass left a lot.
Yeah. It's just no one has done anything at all remotely interesting in this game that's really just raised your eyebrow. Maybe apart from Kudus.
Yeah, Kudus, especially that last play.
Yeah.
That last attack.
Luton Town making some final changes here. Josh Keeley comes off. Josh Keeley did get away with one. We actually probably should have scored from that. He, like I said earlier, he tried to chest it down with Spurs players bearing down on him, and I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but he got away with it. Kudus decided to take a touch when I did say that maybe he didn't have the time or really had the space to do it. And he got let out of one. And actually, also, I think the referee should have saw that there was a foul there because he was being dragged back by Luton Town defender. It's just, that might have been one of the only opportunities that we had to actually score. There might have been one in the first, very, very early stages of the first half with Matisse Tell and Kudus, who's saved off of the line, but it's just been bleh. this game. Surprised everyone's even... I would have gone home early at this point. I would try to beat the traffic. You know, get to... Friendly games are cheaper anyway, you know. It's not like you're missing anything of real consequence.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you got to figure that the game against Arsenal is going to look more like your, you know, the regular starting 11.
Good ball from Kinski. Oh, Jesus. Who the hell? Byfield, what the hell is he doing there? Absolutely basuma that out of bounds.
Sorry to hear that, Skunkworks. Maybe you should actually just paint the wall over again and then just watch that try.
Oh.
It's probably have more fun. Wow. Wow.
Spurs had a good chance there. They did have numbers, and they still found a way to just not do anything of any remote quality whatsoever.
It's ricochet time.
Jeez, the flowers on the wallpaper have died. That's hilarious.
What are they singing? And why?
I could try to listen. Honestly, both teams, they're singing "We Get Battered Everywhere Go." Both teams have been battered this game. Both teams absolutely stunk the place up. If anything, I just want a team to score.
Is Kinski the acting captain right now? That is nuts.
Yeah, he's probably the most senior player on the team.
Well, it would be Scarlett. Has to be. Huh?
Or Donnelly, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Youngman Hook. Heavy touches. Good defending.
Can he keep it under control? Ooh.
Good touches. And then good defending, to be fair. He does have some pace, Youngman Hook, for sure.
Ishak, kudos is off, but, he played 80 minutes. And, it's a preseason. I think they're trying to rest him. He's definitely going to be playing next week. You better believe that.
Good touch from Rio Kirmanton. Really well held up. Sir! Finally, just a bit
Keep it
better
going,
quality.
run a play, yeah.
Lancashire as well. That might have been its first touch, I swear. Mbappe switches it out wide. Kirmanton, well done. Kirmanton and Youngman Hook showing some stuff here. Keep it on the floor, though, lads. Jeez. Jamie Donnelly gets magged. Ooh, leaves something behind him. Byfield intercepts. Can he pick out a pass?
Do something with this.
Someone make a run.
For the love of God.
There's no one even making a run, though. No, well done. Youngman Hook and Byfield switches it across.
Oh, man.
Jeez, that felt like the one opportunity to maybe grab one against the run of play.
That was on a plate, too, man.
Jeez. Just the one bit of interesting moment. Youngman Hook gets clattered.
Oh. How is that not a free kick, ref?
Yang has looked a bit lively, to be fair. And I'd say even Rio Kirmanton. He's done well again here, Rio. Finds... Oh, Lancashire.
Oh.
Couldn't find the finish, Lancashire. He's probably got to do a bit better with that. He's got to try to challenge the goalkeeper. He shanked it across the keeper's right. Didn't even get it on target. Well done from Rio Kirmanton. Him and Youngman Hook, probably the highlights of this. It's a good touch from Lancashire, and yeah, he's just shanked it. He's got to do so much better with that length shear. It's really not a good strike. Just scuffs it. I think scuff is more the appropriate term, not a shank. A shank would be kind.
Yeah, I doubt you're going to see much added time, man.
If anything, they should end it a minute early.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen enough. Oh. And it was offside. Well, referee spares us of our misery. That might have been, I don't know.
1 second
I
before.
did say I don't think it could get much worse in the first half. I think they tried their very best to make it worse somehow than the first half. It's not really a whole lot to talk about, really, to be honest. It was very, very dull, and we just hope it's a lot better, I guess, against Arsenal because, yeah, I mean, I think we were trying to maybe experiment with a different shape, a different formation in the first half. I think they were sort of going with a similar shape in the second, but again, like there was so little that was actually done of any real quality that it's hard to even understand or tell what we were doing. Good opportunity for some of the youngsters to get some minutes, but I mean, yeah, that was a snooze fest.
Yep. And man, bring in Gibbs White ASAP, man, because I think he's very necessary right now.
Yeah.
On a creative front with no Madison in question mark, because we don't want to look stupid playing Arsenal. I don't care if it's a friendly or not. We just don't.
No. And the other thing is that some of the guys that maybe would have been some of the backup creative players today, they really didn't, do anything, to be honest. Alfie Devine, anonymous when he came into the game. Jamie Donnelly, I know he played left back for the majority of the game, but he was also kind of just not really involved when he had his opportunity to play through the midfield. Mikey Moore was less than anonymous. Felt like he only had so many touches of the ball. Kudus might have been the most influential in actually trying to make things happen. But yeah, any of the so-called creative players that were in this game, I mean, they just did not do anything to get us going at any point. Felt like Jed Spence had a million touches of the ball and couldn't really go anywhere with it, and also gave it away a few times. Strikers in both halves, Matisse Tell probably had way more touches than Lancashire did, but Matisse Tell kind of felt for him, but he also, just struggled. No one really did. Just no one could
struggled
get into
in
the
that
game.
position. Man, I would have loved to have seen him on the left instead of Johnson. And then, hell, man, it's a weird call on that one because I probably would have preferred to actually see Johnson play through the middle, and try the striker's role at this point.
Yeah, there's really not a lot to discuss about this game. Everybody was just a snooze fest, and I can't really say that there was anyone that played in any way well. Maybe you could give it to Kudus, but still wasn't really that, inspiring, to be honest. But he did try, at various points to try to create a move or fashion something. But yeah, that was a hard watch. A lot of people are saying, I want my half day back, like Tyler. Yeah, I agree. Even the ref had enough, said Artistine. Exactly. But yeah, everybody, I'll put out a summary of the game, but I think it'll be relatively short comparison to the Wickham one. I just don't really know what there is to say about this game. And we will see you, of course, for the next one against Arsenal, which should be a lot more interesting. We will be, of course, halfway across the world over there as well. And thank you to our man Nick for being here with us and, filling in for the Davo Harris. I think this was definitely a situation where we had to ask a lot of Nick because he had to get up very, very early for these games. But then also he had to watch, probably the first game was a bit more entertaining. So at least, the first game had some excitement to it, whereas the second one, I mean, boy, did Nick put in a shift for us. So please thank him, everybody. And also the new intros as well, as thanks to his hard work as well. But
yeah, man,
thanks for filling in today, sir.
It was for 30 seconds only took about 2 years, so it's what you'd expect from me right now. But yeah, man, hey, I get on whenever I can, man. Whenever these guys will let me on and time allows, man. But thank you for having me. It's been as hard of a watch as those two matches were. It's good to see Spurs playing football again. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I hate these couple of weeks where there's no football.
Yeah.
But, it's back on again. And we're about to get back into serious time, man. I know people are frustrated with the transfers right now. I just don't think we're going to see a whole lot of movement for another couple of weeks. You know, it's going to be right about now that these 180 minutes have been played. It's about shifting. It's about getting some of the players out so we can create space, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for sometimes these deals to get done when you're already away, all the way across the world, when then the players don't even, tend to join you, during that tour. So yeah, be curious if actually anything gets done during the time while we're away. We'll see. We'll find out. But appreciate you all. Thank you for being here with us. Please smash the like button on your way out. Look forward to chatting with you guys probably Monday, fan show. Not sure when Dave will be back, but he will be back, I believe, sometime next week. And yeah, thanks again to Nick for suffering through this one with us, because this was absolute snooze fest.
Yeah,
I think Dave would have probably asked
us.
us. I think Dave would have canceled the watch along early, at this point.
I'm not taking any more of this. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done.
Yeah, he probably would have taken 20 smoke breaks, during this one just to get away from the screen. But appreciate you all. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Come on, you Spurs. This was definitely not a Thomas Frank choo-choo engine game, though. The train did not leave the station today. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Better times to come. See you next time.
Better time to come, hopefully.